I'm Abba's Girl Family. Listen, today's episode, we are going to be talking about soul ties. We're going to continue that conversation, but we're going to take a little bit of a spin on it, and we are going to move out of the friendship dynamic of the effects of a soul tie and the relationship as far as, love relationships. We're going to move over to the way that the effects of a soul tie happen within family. So let's just get into it. So one of the things that I did want to bring up is I do this. I do a similar conversation on my Soul and Screen channel where I watch a television show or a movie, and I, as ABBA brings out biblical principles to me, I discuss them, but I utilize the actual TV show as the case study, or the characters as a case study. So that's where this conversation is stemming from. So let's get into it. So basically there's this show that I was watching, and it's layered in soul ties from a family standpoint. And one of the things that stood out to me was that the relationship between a particular mother and daughter on this show just was so layered with conflict and tension, and it all stemmed because of the soul tie between that particular mom who and her brother, their relationship. So their relationship, they're soul tied because of their brothers and sisters, right? Like, so we're soul tied and connected to the people that we are that are a part of our family. It just is, especially if you have any for real kind of bond relationship with them outside of blood. But this is her brother, and so they grew up with each other, so they're absolutely soul tied with one another. But the issue came in when the toxicity and the demonic portion of the soul tie comes in and is strengthened when the sister is being sexually assaulted on a continual basis from their father. And then the brother is watching. He's like brought in as a spectator to watch and see it. And there's this seed that's planted in him to continue and perpetuate this action. And he does with his sister's daughters. And one of the daughters eventually, it happens, well, he doesn't assault her, but he attempts it, and she didn't say anything. And so as a result of that, he went start messing with her little sister, and he actually literally was having continuous relations with her younger sister, to the point when the sister brought it up to the big sister, they took it to her parents. And when her parents asked, the young girl, did this happen? She later on said, I made it up. And they didn't, pursue it or investigate it any further. They just left it. And that in itself caused some alt between the older sister and the mother. Now, I say that to say because the mother originally was being sexually assaulted by her dad, and then the brother was watching. It literally kind of created this smoke screen for her, where she could not see and could not fathom that he would do this, especially to her daughter, but that he would do it, period. You know what I'm saying? But the issue is there was no consequence to the dad. He didn't get a consequence. He didn't even get outed, because the mother, or the mother at the time, she never told anybody. She didn't even tell the other sister what was going on. And she barely told her husband that she's been married with for over 40 years. She barely told him after everything came out. Once the daughter did kind of come back and mention everything. And so anyway, I say that to say that there was a couple of things that I caught from this particular show. It's called Greenleaf, if you want to know what I'm talking about, and if you ever want to look into it, if you haven't or anything like that. It just brought up a couple of things. One of the things, and this is all really like from the first like 2 episodes, was just, again, like I said, the strained relationship between the daughter and the mother as a result, because the mom was like, would not even think that the brother would do that. So she she basically tied herself to that truth. She made this I'm choosing to believe this. And it really kind of became choosing your daughter over your brother. It did. I'm sorry. Yeah, your daughter over your brother. and it caused an issue between her oldest daughter and her, because like from that point on, it was just they could not get along or anything, to the point where it actually even pushed the older daughter into a relationship with the mom's sister. And eventually she leaves, oldest daughter leaves, and she's gone. She's just missing in action for 20 years. She doesn't come around anymore. She just doesn't go back. She comes back, she has an older daughter. And I say that to say is that it really strained the whole relationship, family relationship, but it was because she was so tied to her brother and this a lie that he was saying, because he denied it. And that's one of the reasons why she chose not to believe it or look any further into it, because it was like the brother denied it, of course, and then the daughter eventually recanted her statement that it never happened. And so it just, really kind of just really just came in between this mother-daughter relationship, which is absolutely supposed to be this holy and special thing, right? You know what I mean? It's supposed to be a relationship that's protected, that's nurtured, that's strengthened, definitely over the relationship between the brother, but it just didn't because of a lie. And that particular lie literally kind of because it was, because of both of her parents believed it, it put her on a different path, right? You know what I mean? It literally kind of, she wasn't feeling like she was able to accept the assignment to advocate for her sister at the point in time. She was 18 years old, so you kind of understand that she just was like, I'm just gonna leave and I won't come back, kind of a thing. But eventually she ended up coming back full circle, and the aunt tells her, God is giving you another chance to get it right this time. And what I want to say is that when soul ties are not handled and dealt with correctly, they absolutely have a say, so to speak, over our life trajectory, if that makes sense. It's like they have very heavy influence on the decisions that we make and why we make them and things like that, and the assignments that we do or take or not do, you know what I mean? And so that particular point, she didn't feel at 18 years old, I can do this. And she was a very prominent, like young lady. She actually had a very good influence and voice. She was preaching at her dad's church at the time. Like everybody was like, she had a voice, but she didn't take on that voice. She didn't utilize that voice, that gift, that influence that she had at the time to advocate and push for any type of investigation, because she just didn't feel like anybody was going to believe her. She also possibly didn't have the maturity, the courage to do that. And what I'm saying is that when it comes to our assignments, the effects of soul ties have effects on our assignments as well. Now, she can't get away from it. Like when God gives you an assignment, you gonna do it, or at some point you are either going to do it, or you will be one of those people who dies without fulfilling part of your purpose, right? And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who have done that. So do not get me wrong. I don't mean that as a slight. I'm just, calling a spade a spade. If you don't come into agreement with the purpose and calling of your life, or the life assignments that ABBA has designated to happen, then, it's just going to move to the next person in the family line. And I say that to say that this particular aunt was like, God is giving you a second chance to do this, Gigi. And it was kind of like, well, why didn't you do it? Because you were the aunt. And so you were older than she was now. I mean, older than, she's probably her age now, actually, right? You know what I mean? But it's like, you as the aunt, you didn't do anything, and you possibly, like, she didn't know that the molestation of her sister was going on, and she didn't know that the brother had witnessed it or anything. But what I'm saying is, you still a grown woman, and like, she could have been there to help support her niece in pushing it and things like that, because she obviously believed her niece. She was the one who believed that the brother did do that and things like that. But to bring it back to the assignment conversation, is when she got back and she told her that, you know, God is giving you a second chance. And this is a sister who actually didn't go to church. Don't sound like she believed in God, but she believed that this assignment was given to her niece, and she ran from it the last time. And it's so interesting because it made me think of the Jonah situation, and not necessarily exactly the same, but to an extent, because Jonah was given the assignment by God, right, to go and tell Nineveh to repent and do all of this kind of stuff. And he didn't want to because, you know, like, wait a minute, you about to forget him? Like, you know what I'm saying? So he was mad and everything. So he tried to hightail it up out of there. And guess what? He ended up in the belly of a whale. Until when? Until he got some get right, and Abba was like, all right, you can let him go. And then he went and he did what he was supposed to do, right? And this is something similar. Grace left. She hightailed it out there. She never returned. She had a baby and everything. She never went back to her parents' place until her sister passed away. And that's when the assignment was picked back up, and she eventually stayed for the series to like close that part of the storyline, or the assignment that she was given. She realized, I think at that point, as you know, 20 years later, this is something that I'm supposed to do, because she literally passed on a job that was definitely going to be bringing her some money, definitely going to make her famous and things like that. It was like 2020, if I'm not mistaken. And so I say that to say that sometimes when you are sitting and you know that your assignment is like, it's just all over you, and you know what it is, that if, you know, first of all, you have to come into agreement with it, because you can run from it if you want to. But if it's for you to do, then you're going to either do it, or like I said, you will go to the grave not fulfilling completely everything that you did. And so she decided to take this assignment on, like, okay, I'm gonna stay and I'm gonna do this. And that ended up being two things, like I said, with this particular situation and episode of A Soul Tie. So the soul tie between the mom and the brother, in her belief in his story over her daughters, pushed her oldest daughter away, and it helped make her, it helped present the opportunity, let me say it that way, for her to run and leave. Like, it gave her an excuse to get up out. It gave her an excuse to I'm not doing this, like, you know, to pass on the assignment, so to speak. But because this was something that she was supposed to do, she ended up going back to it and doing what she was supposed to do anyway, just like Jonah did in the Bible. And I say that to say this: we all experience the effects of a soul tie in some way, shape, or form. Negative and demonic soul ties, as well as those godly, healthy ones. But what we have to do is really kind of center ourselves if we can. And this is why relationship with Abba is important, right? And this is why it's so important to be grounded in the word and prayer and things like that, because other than that, you don't know what the assignment is given. Like, you know, it's so much going on in the world, you don't necessarily know. But when you have a relationship with the Lord, it is easier, because it's like anchored in you. She had this knowing that she passed on a 2020 position, anchor position, which is what she was doing. She was, you know, that was her career path. So she was a journalist. So she like 2020, like everybody know 2020. So she passed on this because it was that the resolve was that solid in her, that I have to do this. I ran last time. I didn't do what, you know, I believed I was supposed to do, but I came back and I'm going to finish this assignment this time. One of the things that I want to bring out in that whole statement was the fact that there are times, if Abba allows you time to get it right, like he gives you a second chance or a third chance, you know what I mean? It's time to really go in and assess the situation. Ask him, you know, okay, Abba, how do I get this right? Because last time I wigged out, right? Like, I know I didn't do what you told me to do. I'm sorry, but I'm here. I'm going to try to do this, and we gonna do this right this time. Like, give me the strategy. And that's what happened, you know, and is she eventually started taking steps forward to complete this particular assignment. And guess what? Because of it, she was given, you know, the tools along the way. There are people that were brought in to help her do it. And here's the other part of it. Just because you come in alignment with an assignment that Abba gives you, and you come into agreement, that does not mean that the path is going to be completely clear. Excuse me. Let me say that. Let me say that a different way. You still will have obstacles. Because why? Because there's an enemy out there as well. He can't stand us because Abba love us like that much, like literally to the point where the angels is like, who is a man that you would consider them? Like, the enemy hate us. And so he not going, if he can put an obstacle in your way, he's going to do it. If he can put multiple obstacles in your way, he's definitely going to do it. I'm sorry. So he's not going to back off. That's not his job. Is he's the enemy. He is literally there to be an obstacle, right? So some of the assignments, and probably most, in all honesty, are definitely going to have their moments of turbulence. But trusting in Abba, trusting in the fact that he gave you this assignment, like you sat down, you talked to him about this, you got this confirmation in your spirit and your soul that this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Even when other people are not in agreement, family members are coming against her. Like her mom literally told her, like, do not come here and start no stuff. Like, her dad was kind of telling her, like, be still, you know what I mean? Like quit doing stuff. And she had to go with what the Lord was telling her to do. And you know what I'm saying? And so I say that because there are going to be times when in our assignment, especially depending on what you are called and your assignment is to do and your purpose as well, that you're going to go against the grain of family. You are literally going to go against the grain of family members, right? Because it's not their call. It's not their purpose. And then once we get that in our head and stop trying to help or make people understand our assignments and our purpose, like it's really, like if Abba want him to know, then he'll tell him, you know what I mean? Like, but other than that, like it took me a long time to get to the point where I understand that if you don't get it, it's okay, because he didn't tell you to do it. He told me to do it. So your path is your path. Like I probably don't get everything that you're doing either. You know what I'm saying? But the truth of the matter is, it's kind of like one of my friends laughs because I'll be like, I honestly just tell people, like, I don't know. If you want to know, ask Abba, right? I just know what he told me to do. He told me to go here. That's what I did. I got up, I moved, and I went like he told me to do, right? Because I'm learning that he don't owe me no explanation. I would like it. Don't get me wrong, you know what I'm saying? I was a nosy kid. Listen, I was the kid who knew everybody's business. And that has probably been one of the most difficult things that Abba has had to break in me as a woman of faith and woman of God and his daughters, because Abba, I want to know. So what we about to do? Like, where we going? Who gonna do that? Like, I'm a detail person to the point where that's literally like my profession. That's what I do at work. My job is built around attention to detail. And so when he gives me assignments and he tells me to do stuff, I absolutely want it. Like, can you put it on a piece of paper? Can you list it out? And he don't do that all the time. Like, he every once in a while hook me up and be like, yeah, here we go. But there are absolutely other times where he's like, I'm not doing anything. Like, I told you what to do, go. Like, I already said go. Like, you become that person like that in Abraham. He literally tells Abraham to go, right? To leave his family, paraphrasing, and go to a land that I'm going to show you. He did that to me. He did that to me. And I've never, and he had never been or anything, you know what I mean? And I'm literally living in one of those moments where he told me to go do something and now I'm in it, and it has not necessarily been completely smooth, but I also know that he's a keeper and he's holding up, so it could definitely have way more turbulence that I've experienced, but it don't change the fact that the assignment got to get done. So the enemy, he coming in and he doing what he do, but if the enemy gonna do what he do, then Abba gonna do what he gonna do, right? Like, it's just like he ain't greater than Abba. Like, greater is he who is in me than he who is in the world. Like, I am Abba's girl. Like, I need you to know that he gonna show up for us. He's gonna show up for you. He gonna show up for me. Like, he will. He just needs you to start to initiate. Like, I was talking to a friend the other day and I was saying, like, how's your prayer life and everything? And I just kind of do some coaching sometimes. And, with my friends, they end up getting a little free stuff sometimes, right? And so one of my friends happened to, we were just talking and we were talking about, prayers and answers of prayers. And I was like, okay, well, are you asking the right question? Because a lot of times when we don't get answers. People's like, oh, I didn't get no answer. Some of it is because we're not asking the correct question. We're asking a question, but we're not asking the right question, right? And so that's part of it. And so she was like, I believe so. And I said, okay. I said, now the next thing is we have to also kind of understand that we can't play God, right? Like, you can't play him. Like, you can't play a player. Like, he not a player, but I'm just saying, like, what I'm saying is he knows your thoughts and your intents. So if you are asking him for answers and he knows that you have no intentions on following through, why would he tell you the next step when I already know you ain't gonna take it? So I'll wait until you're ready to take the step, and then I'll give you the instruction. And I say that out of experience as well. There has been times where I've asked and I learned through listening through teachings of, Mama Cindy Trim, and just like asking the appropriate question, learning, because you can't just be like, why? Because you do, you say why, you might get a because I said so answer. I ain't saying he will, you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying that that's what you might get, because that's not really asking in faith. That is absolutely a fear-based question. And he told me a long time ago, I don't answer fear-based questions. Now, I don't know what he told nobody else, but that's what he told me. So now I had to go in and restructure my question from a faith-based perspective. Okay, so can you supply me the strategy? Because, you said that this was going to happen and this is going down. So obviously I'm making the wrong moves. Can you supply me the strategy? You know what I mean? But I come in knowing that I'm going to do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be asking him for stuff that I have no intentions on doing. One of the things he showed me, it was like, ABBA speaks to me in visions and things and shows me pictures. And that's one of the reasons why I do the soul and screen evaluations and case studies and things like that about biblical truths, is because he shows me visuals. And one of the things he was like, he showed me this like pool of water. And it was like him saying, come on, like step into it. And I was just like, and at first you sit and you see there and you just asking all these questions. And he's just like, put your foot in. And it got to a point, it was just like, take the step. And it was like, I was sitting there and it was like, okay, so I just need you. I ain't even saying put your foot all the way in the water to the point where it gets submerged. I'm saying that as soon as you let that skin of your big toe touch the water, then I'm going to move, because that showed me you made a step. That showed me that you're going to do this. And that's what I'm saying, is that ABBA sometimes does not give us the next step, or that next move, because you don't have any intentions on doing it, baby girl. As much as I love you and as much as you just not there yet, so I'll let you get there first. And sometimes that takes like, I hate the fact that it takes that, like, those traumatic moments that happen in life to move us. Like, I literally asked him one time, like, do something bad always got to happen for you to like open the door for me to move? And he goes, that's what I would like to know. Do I always have to allow something tragic to happen for you to move? And I was like, oh, well, no. And he was like, good. And that means like, he was like, he's like, now we getting somewhere, because now if I don't always have to allow something tragic and horrible to happen, now I know you gonna move. So let's talk. And so the instruction and the direction started coming and things like that. And so I say that to say, again, soul ties can affect our decision making. It can affect what we're doing in life, our life's trajectories and paths that we take, the life assignments that we either step up to or pass on, and things like that. And we really want to look at those things. We want to make sure that we are not allowing the effects of the soul, the demonic and toxic soul ties, to get us out of alignment with what ABBA wants to do and how he wants to move in our life. One of the other things that I want to bring up is that we tend to forget that we're here for him. Like, he literally placed us here in the earth realm for his purposes, but we tend to act like he here to do what we want him to do. God, you see what I'm saying? We got it backwards. Like, he put us, Tiffany, you here for this. This is your purpose. This is your assignment. Go. It's not the opposite way around. It's not like, okay, Abba, I got a plan and I got a purpose now that I made, and I want you to do X, Y, and Z. And we treat him like that sometimes. And that's another reason why sometimes we don't get answers to what we're asking, because we not sovereign. He is. So anyway, listen, you guys, I know that was a lot for a soul tie conversation, but I really want us to, I believe Abba's trying to show us the way that these particular soul ties can work in our life, move in our life, how they influence and affect our, everyday life decisions and processes and things that we do, so that we can ask him, like, Abba, help me get out of this. Show me what I need to do to get out of this. And a lot of it is prayer time. And here's the other thing that people, we tend to try to, as soon as you hear the word prayer, and it's just like, wow, if we would understand that spending time with him is going to give us like this it's really going to be the light that turns everything on, because like you can't get to know yourself without knowing him. And we've been taught backwards. We're trying to figure out, people are out there trying to figure out who they are without having a relationship with him, and it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. And so I have this book called it's called The Prayer Tithe out, and it's just kind of a life applicable process for people who are trying to grow their process, to grow their prayer life, to a point where it's like an equivalent of a tithe. And what I mean by equivalent, it's 10% of the day or 10% of this specific time and things like that. I definitely have it on my Stan store. I'll leave the link in the description below if you guys want to go check it out, if you do need help improving your prayer life, because it really is going to be what opens up everything for you. It opens up the understanding. And so one of the things that I will leave with you guys as far as a question is, he told me, like, always ask for understanding. And so if you don't know anything else to ask, always start there. Always start with, Abba, give me understanding of what's going on, because we tend to be like, why? And that's that's not a faith-based question. That's a fear-based question. But if we ask for understanding, then that's the step in the right direction for us to ask a faith-based, oh, you're going to do something. Oh, you've already done something question to Abba. I just need understanding, and understanding this, that he'll give it to you to your capacity. He's going to give it to you to your capacity. So, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get every detail either. Like, the way that he does it is just, it truly shows you that he knows you, because you get this level of understanding that brings peace. And now it took me a while to walk into that place where I'm like, wow, like I'm actually living scriptures at this point. Like, they are becoming flesh to me, where I do have the peace that surpasses all understanding, because Abba gave it to me. Abba gave me the understanding, and now I'm at peace, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on, but I got peace because he gave me the understanding that's going to calm Tiffany's nervous system down. And that's because he knows me. He knows we are his kids. If we look at Abba as who he is, and not just as God, and like just this person who's waiting for us to mess up so he can strike us down, and he don't want us to do nothing good. Like, if we stop looking at him like that and look at him as a good father, even if you ain't had one, ask him how to teach you. He did with me. That's another book I have out. Same Stan story. It's called I Am Abba's Girl, and it's going from the orphan spirit to a daughter. And it's just different. And hear me when I say this, especially for those of us, like those of you out there who are like me and did not grow up with your father raising you. It has to be taught. It has to be taught. And Abba did such an amazing job, in my opinion, of doing that with me, that my relationship, my dependency on him is just like top tier. And that only comes from developing relationship with him and finding out what a good father does. Not what your father would do, not what your daddy would do, but what a good father would do. And sometimes that truly makes the difference. So anyway, hopefully that was a good kind of way to give you steps on what to do, how to ask correct questions when you are aligning to the assignment on your life. I hope also this episode helps steer you to try to sit down for a moment and really like pinpoint what negative effects a soul tie has had on your life. If you don't want to call it demonic and toxic, it's fine. They all kind of mean the same thing. So whatever word you want to use, it's not healthy. Whatever it is, like, sit for a moment and ask him, ask Holy Spirit, like, can you point out, like really, because sometimes we be thinking we out there killing it, like, oh, I am, and you not. And that's something that he had to tell me, and I tell my team that all the time. They laugh at me, but I'll be like, you really thought you was killing it, and you not, because I had to come to the same conclusion. And it wasn't until he started showing me, this is how you really start killing it, is when you do what I tell you to do, and you walk in what I tell you to walk, even when you're afraid, even when you don't got the answers. Like, just go and expect me to show up on your behalf. Why? Because I'm a good father. So that's it for this week's episode, you guys. Listen, I am ABBA's girl, and I want you to know that you are too. So go get the motivation that you need for this. Let's have a conversation down in the comments over on the YouTube page. If you're hearing this on Spotify, please just run over there really quick and on the YouTube page, and let's get into a discussion, and let's see where the soul ties have affected your life, and did this conversation help bring some structure to it, where ABBA's giving you the answers to get out of it, because I know he will if you do it. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.